Hi, everybody. Thank you again for joining me today. My name is Bernadette, and I am the president and mortgage broker here at Carista Mortgage. And joining me today is one of our VIP partners, Toni Singh. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Bernadette. How are you? Thanks so much for having me.
Awesome. Would you like to say something to our viewers out there?
Oh, hi, everyone. Welcome and thanks for joining us. Happy to meet you. And hopefully, if you have any questions after our little chat, you can get in touch with Bernadette or myself. Happy to see new faces and answer any questions you might have.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, Tony, we were talking about what's happening in the market, and I really love sharing with our audience there what you're seeing because, of course, you have insights that the ordinary buyers or sellers are not privy to. So, the first question I want to ask you is what are you seeing in terms of listing properties out there? Because I know you have a lot of listings.
Yeah, this is a really great question. So I would say, so this week from this week and next week, we have six new listings that are coming on. That will total 15 active listings at the moment. But we're seeing more sellers wanting to listing their homes, basically, right? I think there's been a lot of pent-up demand for a few years. Sellers have been waiting for the market to improve. Now that we've had a few rate drops, as you know, because you're the go-to mortgage broker, and then we have the next announcement, is it October 23rd coming out?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We have another one in
So
October.
people really want to be able to, they don't want to hold off plans anymore. So they want to list their home and move somewhere else or whatever they're trying to achieve, whether it's upsizing, downsizing. They no longer want to wait to do that. But I also am seeing more inventory come on. So for us, when we're listing property, it's really important that we are priced right now. And I know that a lot of consumers get confused about what that means, but you really have to be priced properly. Even 2 to 5% over where absorption should be can make the difference between a successful sale or not.
Well, thank you for saying that. I hope the viewers are listening carefully here. 2 to 5%, like difference, can mean your property being sold or sitting there gathering flies. And I think the reason why it's very important for you guys to understand why it's doing that is about a couple of years ago, right, Tony? There was a shortage of listings. Like they're like, it's a 10-year low. Like it's never been this low. There's not very many listings. For 2 years, that was the problem. Well, this year, that is not a problem. I was reading this article and it said that there's 24% more listings like, than the 10-year average. Like it's so high.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, it's simple economics, right? So we have more supply in the market. There's
Yeah.
some variance because there's different price ranges, but in general, for what most people today can qualify for as, dual income, let's say, and they're a family, they're all qualifying very similarly in that similar price point. And so that means that even on the buying side, they're targeting the same homes, but they have more to choose from as well.
They have more to choose from as well. That's why if your property is 2 to 5% more than the others, when there's so many others, then your property will not be getting the offer. So, Tony, what if, like, what happens? I think you've seen this, right? There are some buyers out there that they think, like, I want to say, I want to list my home for 2.5 million because I want to net, you know, X
Mhm.
$2 million, like, let's just say. What do you say to clients like that, where they just want to sell according to a price, but they didn't really look at what's really going on, the market out there?
Yes, this is a great question, Bernadette. Thank you. So, with all of our clients, we're always looking at, in addition to what they want to net, the overall plan. What is the overall plan? What is the overall goal? So, we're looking at motivation for why would you and your family want to sell your home here and make that move? Because ultimately, it has to be for a reason. Now, if sellers just want a certain price because that's what they want to net, that's unfortunately not how the market works. We
Mhm.
look at active inventory, most recent sales, and again, even though the sales are public information now, the general public doesn't you won't know in real time unless you're working with an experienced realtor what is actually happening in the market because We look at other factors, call volume, actual showing requests, number of people at the open houses, what's the general feedback. Like you can feel the pulse on the market when you have listings and active buyers that are out there making moves and trading property. And that doesn't show up in the data until later. So my answer would be this: whenever we go and meet with a seller, for example, a lot of scenarios right now are that someone wants to sell something and they need to sell in order to buy because they have so much
Mhm.
equity in their properties. But if someone came to us and just wanted to list for 2.5 and the data and the market is showing that they're worth 2.2, there's no way that we would list it
Mhm.
because it's not of service to the client. It's not. If you really want to
No.
know what you're working with in terms of the net, does the actual realistic net work for your overall plan? If it does,
Mhm.
then just do that because we all want to have a better nest egg. We all want to net as most money as possible. And sometimes people just focus on, 5, 10, $25,000 extra, but that can actually get in the way of a successful maximize value sale on your existing property and the ability to purchase where you want to move to. Because that market's
Mhm.
also moving, it can move up too. They work together, but they change.
Right, exactly. It's really important to work with a real estate agent who listens to what's truly important, because sometimes there may be competing important things, but what is more important and what are you going to be focusing on? In the real world, we can't have everything that we want, right? So we have to make sure that we zoom in on what's really, really important. Now, I heard you say that some clients would like to sell and buy it as well. So, what happens if I would like to buy something, but I haven't sold my house? What is your strategy for those type of situations?
So this is also a really good question. Now, we recommend different strategies depending on the market, and the markets change, as you know, they're always fluid. But what we are seeing right now is that most of our families that want to move up, okay, so they're moving up into a higher price range. It is too risky today for them to put in an offer on the purchase and not have a subject to sale clause because when we go, even if we did a longer completion on the sale of their existing home, there's no guarantees for when it's going to be sold because, again, inventories also increase in some segments. So right now we have maybe 3 or 4 families that are wanting to upsize. We've put their homes on the market. We're getting them ready right now. So their homes are going on the market now. They have to be priced properly because we need them to sell for maximum value. And then
Mhm.
they have the money out where they can actually go ahead and offer on a property. Um, we have been competing against more on the buying side, more subject to sales too. The subject to sales are not winning. So even though people
Uh-huh.
need a subject to sale offers are not necessarily winning because if you're the seller, you want to know where you're moving to. So the whole market is tied together, right? I would
Yes.
say that for today, and this might change, we're beginning of October. If the market heats up, there's different strategies because it's going to be less likely even to get a subject to sale accepted. But you also don't want the client priced out. So we've onboarded. There's 6 new listings that this over the next 2 weeks, this week and next week, right? A lot of those people will be moving up, but at least with their homes on the market, priced properly, we're one step closer to be, and we're actively hunting. We're actively hunting for good deals on their purchase. So we actually do both at the same time because great, if you put your home on in order to get it sold so you don't need to subject to sale, wonderful. But if you don't know where you're going to, it's a problem.
Yeah.
So
Huge
we have
problem.
it's going out looking at properties all the time while their homes are now listed for sale or at least coming on in the next 2 weeks. Um, and as soon as we're able to generate a quick and maximize value sale on their properties because they are priced well, all things considered in the market, we would be able to offer on something else because Bernadette, it's better to buy and sell in the same market. Obviously, it's ideal if you sell high and buy low, but
Oh my God.
it's more important that you do it in the same market so that you're not priced out of the market and you don't have some, you're not in a position where you and your family have nowhere to go.
Awesome. Well, there you go, guys. You've seen an in-depth insight of what's happening in the market. This is live. This is happening now. If you want to list, if you want to, buy subject to sale, and you have any questions about that, please talk to Toni. If you're thinking of buying, if you're a first-time home buyer and you have some questions about buying as a first-time home buyer, I'm here as well. But when it comes to like listing, buy and sell, positioning your home properly and how to best strategically win when you are selling a home, please reach out to our VIP partner here, Toni, because she's an expert. She has 16 listings like right now, and she has a few families who are waiting to buy and sell their home. So thank you, Toni, for joining us today. And if you have any special tips for our viewers out there, please feel free to share.
Thanks, Bernadette. I didn't ask you a question though. I don't know if you want
Oh,
to.
okay. You have a
I
question
didn't ask
for
you.
me?
I have a question for you because this would be your specialty. I mean, you know that I do the sales, but you're on the mortgage side. So, specifically, my question relates to the changes that were announced within the last couple of weeks for the in. Can you speak to the insured mortgages, the difference in the threshold, and also who the 30-year amortization applies to? Because they released this information, but the government didn't specifically say how they were going to go ahead with implementing it.
No, they just go, this is happening.
But
Boom.
how?
Okay.
So here's a question. If we have buyers right now that want to move up and we know that they're going to qualify potentially, maybe they only qualify for 1 million right now, but maybe they're going to qualify right below 1.5 million if they're within that range. If we write a contract today and we have the completion set for after December 15th, will it be applicable or do we have to wait?
That's a very good question. Yes, all these new rules. So the new rules that Toni is asking about, very good question, is for first-time home buyers, only first-time home buyers, you are entitled to having a 30-year amortization. So instead of 25 years, you can go 30 years, and that's really good because what's going to be happening is increases your buying power. It gives you another 40,000 or so to play with, like in terms of buying. Also, the threshold for not having to put 20% down increased to 1.5 million. So if you're buying for 1.5 million, your down payment is now going to be 125,000 instead of 300,000. So if you're buying for 1 million, your down payment now is now going to be 75,000 instead of 200,000. But wait, you cannot make any offers until after December 15. If you make an offer right now with a December 16 completion, you will be declined because the best way for me to describe it is the computer system of the banks, credit unions, mortgage lenders are not yet set up to accommodate this. This just came out. So all of these things have to be tweaked. So if this is something that you would like to take advantage of, it's a good idea to be pre-approved right now. So if you're going to Toni and asking those questions, most likely Toni will say, I talked to Bernadette first. We'll do the pre-approval for you. The pre-approval is good for 4 months, but you can start looking around. I highly recommend you look around, right, Toni? So they have an idea of what's
Exactly.
happening in the market.
It's like if you were studying for a really big test. Are you going to study the night before and cram? I mean, sure, you could get it done. We want to do the homework beforehand so that we're not in a rush and that we have all of our ducks in a row and it takes the stress out of the situation.
Absolutely. So well said. So this is not a cramming type of situation. Let's prepare for a thesis. You can't finish it overnight. So reach out to us. We will help you plan accordingly. And then you and 76% of home buyers who are waiting are going to make an offer on December 16. And Toni and I will not be sleeping.
We're ready now. We're ready now. But Bernadette, thank you for clarifying that because that's so significant. Even, if someone had $40,000 extra, let's say, to play with, that can make a really big difference.
Yeah,
And
40,000. Yeah, go
the
ahead,
down
Pam.
payment, that's significantly less. I mean, one of the challenges that we've had is we've had so many clients over the last 2 years. Sure, they only qualify for 1 million because the cost of everything's gone up and their down payment isn't larger to be able to qualify for more, but their income does.
Yes. Exactly. So these are amazing changes. I'm glad we're bringing it to the market. I'm glad that people are hearing this from now and what are the implications. I think people have heard it in passing. We've explained it. And the more people hear, get deeper and deeper information, I think that's sticking more. So thank you. Thank you for asking that question, Tony.
You. I'm glad I can rely on you for all my mortgage questions.
Awesome. And so for any real estate questions, Tony is your person. Don't ask me. I won't know. Is this a good deal? I don't know, Dr. Tony. Any real estate questions, please reach out to her. We're going to post the link how to call her and email her. We will put her contact information here. So please make sure you talk to experts.
Happy to help. Hope to talk to you guys soon.
Okay, take care. Bye.